Welcome back to There Is No America Without Erica, and we all need a little Erica in our life. So today we're going to see what kind of trash we can dig up. So let's just see. Do you guys like my little thing? Is this not the cutest thing? Like, I love it. I love it. Anyways, I want to tell you guys a story because this one caught both of us completely off guard. A few days ago, I looked at Matthew and said, I think they installed one of those flock cameras in Coloma. Now, if you've never heard of Coloma, Wisconsin, our entire village has roughly like 450 people. So Matthew looked at me and said, no, they didn't. Why in the world would a town with 450 people need one of those? Honestly, I thought the same thing. So we drove over by the dollar store. Sure enough, there it was. A flock camera mounted on a pole with a solar panel aimed directly across the main road and toward the gas station. That means virtually everyone stopping for gas or driving through town passes underneath that camera. Now, immediately the question wasn't, does it work? The question was, who approved this? Who decided a village of 450 people need this? So Matthew did what I think most people would do. He went on to the local Facebook buy, sell, and trade Facebook pages. Not to start a fight, not to accuse anyone of anything. He literally asked one simple question: who approved this? Within minutes, the post disappeared, so he tried another local group. Same thing. Then another, same thing again. The posts never even made it into the groups. They were immediately held for approval. Eventually, one very vague post finally stayed up. It didn't even mention flock by name. It simply hinted that there was a certain digital thing that had appeared in town. Even that disappeared for a while before eventually coming back. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Facebook intentionally censored the topic. I don't know why those posts were held. Maybe it was automated, maybe it was group settings, maybe something else. But, I mean, people post groups, all things in there all the time, and I've never seen them get taken down because it's like a community group. But I do know this: if people can't even have a public conversation about government surveillance, that should concern everybody. Whether you support these cameras, whether you hate these cameras, the discussion itself shouldn't be taboo. The public deserves to know who had approved it, who pays for it. Obviously, we probably do. How long is the data stored? Who has access? Who is it shared? What oversight exists? Those aren't crazy questions. Those are exactly the questions citizens are supposed to ask. So naturally, I started researching these cameras, and honestly, some of what I found surprised me. The companies selling these systems market them as tools to recover missing children, locate stolen vehicles, catch violent crimes like criminals, and yes, these are documented cases where they've helped investigators. I'm not denying that. But that's only half the story. The other half is something you almost never hear about. There are documented cases where officers have misused access to these systems by conducting unauthorized lookups and tracking people they had no legitimate law enforcement reason to investigate. The technology itself isn't evil. The concern is what happens when incredibly powerful tools meet imperfect human beings. Because eventually somebody abuses it. History tells us that over and over and over again. People also keep saying, if you're not doing anything wrong, you've got nothing to worry about. I couldn't disagree more. The Fourth Amendment wasn't written for criminals. It was written to protect innocent people from unreasonable government searches. Constitutional rights aren't tested when everything is going well. They're tested when people are scared, when emotions are high, and when everyone believes giving the government just a little more power will solve the problem. That's exactly why those protections exist. Now, here's something that really made me think. Imagine another COVID-style emergency. Imagine another stay-at-home order. Imagine another curfew. Now, before anybody twists my words, I'm not saying that's why these cameras were installed. I'm not saying that's how they're being used today. I'm saying think about what happens if a future government decides to use infrastructure like this differently. Because once the infrastructure exists, future governments decide how it gets used, and that's important. During COVID, life in small rural towns wasn't the same as life in larger cities. You can't simply tell everyone in a farming community to stay home. Farmers still have animals to feed, truck drivers still have deliveries to make, mechanics still have to repair equipment, utility workers still have to keep the lights on, people still need groceries, people still need fuel. Life doesn't stop simply because somebody tells you to stay home. Now imagine another emergency, except this time there's an automated network documenting vehicle travel throughout your community. Could a future government decide to use that information to enforce travel restrictions more aggressively? That's a fair question to ask. Again, I'm not saying that's happening today. I'm saying once the infrastructure exists, the people who control it tomorrow may not think the same way the people controlling it today do. History has shown us over and over again, government powers almost never get smaller. They usually grow. The other thing people keep telling us is there's already cameras everywhere. That's true, there are, but that's missing the point. The issue isn't whether cameras exist. The issue is how government gains access to information. The law enforcement believes you've committed a crime. Generally, they need legal process such as like a warrant, subpoena, or another lawful basis depending on the circumstances to obtain certain private information. That's a system built around individualized suspicion. Flock changes that conversation because it creates a searchable database of vehicle sightings that investigators can query later. Instead of beginning with a suspect, the information already exists. That's why people are asking constitutional questions, not because they hate technology, because constitutional protection should keep pace with technology. At the end of the day, this isn't really about one camera in one tiny Wisconsin town. I mean, today we went through another smaller town of Coloma and we seen them up there. It's about deciding where we draw the line. Maybe you support these cameras, maybe you don't. That's perfectly fine. But what I don't think anybody should support is the idea that citizens shouldn't even be allowed to ask questions about them. Healthy communities debate important issues. They don't avoid them. So let me know what you guys think. If your town installed one of these tomorrow, would you support it? Would you oppose it? Or would you at least want somebody to explain why? Now, if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to support what we're doing, the best way to do that is by checking out our store at onlytechnicalfans.myshopify.com, where we've got emergency food, Mylar bags, oxygen absorbers, medical supplies, trauma gear, tourniquets, weapon lights, slings, targets, survival gear, and a whole lot more. The reality is videos like this aren't always the easiest to make, and every order helps us continue producing content that asks difficult questions and covers stories a lot of other people won't touch. So if you're looking to build a bug out bag, improve your emergency preparedness, stock your pantry, upgrade your medical kit, or just pick up some quality range gear, we'd really appreciate the opportunity to earn your business. Again, that's at onlytechnicalfans.myshopify.com. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.